When we think of making connections with others, we oftentimes think of sitting down and having a conversation, usually sharing a meal or a relaxing moment outside. But it involves words, involves back and forth, give and take. We connect verbally through writing, through text messages, emails, even through video conferencing, kind of like this. But they all involve the words that we use. But that's not the only way to connect with others. In fact, modern research shows that despite our emphasis on teaching verbal connection and how to speak clearly and to enunciate, most of the connections that we make with others are nonverbal. They don't involve the words that we say, but rather involve how we say the words, how we position our bodies, and how we choose to interact with others in a physical realm. So we're going to spend some time, oddly enough, of course, talking about verbal and nonverbal connections. Verbal connections are any type of connections involving words. These are connections that are said or are written, but they involve not just the words, but the types of words we use, the vocabulary we choose to use, the structure and the grammar, even our rate of speed, all play into verbal connections. All verbal connections go through two stages. They are encoded and they are decoded. Encoding is the process of the speaker taking the thought that they want to share with another and choosing carefully the words that they will use to project and send that thought to the other, either spoken or written. Decoding is the receiving side, where the other individual takes those words and then makes meaning from those words. We're all familiar with the joke, lost in translation. Well, that joke is very real because oftentimes the words that we use may, in fact, make it more difficult for the other person to understand what we are really trying to say. Or perhaps the way that we say the words, the rate of speech that we have, or the accent that we carry can get in the way of the other receiver decoding what we mean. Nonverbal communications are actions that we take with our body, whether consciously or subconsciously, and the tones of voice that we use and the tone our body can take. My wife oftentimes uses the joke with me of, did your face really just make that noise? Yes, it really did. The way that we present ourselves can actually conflict with the words that we use. Verbal connections are also sent and received. The sending may be deliberate or not deliberate, and the reception may be misperceived. Social cues, education, differences in economics all play roles in how we learn to receive others' verbal cues, and oftentimes misreceive the cues that have come our directions. So come along as we study and take a look at first the way that we communicate verbally and the skills that we can incorporate, and then take some time studying and receiving how we communicate non-verbally. Because frankly, we'd rather send and receive the right kind of connections with those with whom we are trying to connect.